Introduction to Behavior Interventions, Strategies for Educators, Counselors, and Parents, a 15-minute focus. How many times in your childhood were you told, stop being bad? How many times were you forbidden to hang around, date, or associate with certain kids because they were bad? Kids do well if they can, not kids do well if they want to. Let that sink in. Kids do well if they can, not if they want to. If a child or teen is struggling to manage emotions or make good choices, it's not because they want to be bad or disrespectful. Likely there is a barrier keeping kids from being successful. It is our job as adults who care for them to coach them through those feelings. Life circumstances and environmental factors can foster a need for control when a need isn't being met. Behavior issues may occur when a student struggles with self-worth, self-image, boundaries, and love. Traumatic experiences fuel many negative behaviors, poor choices, and dark moods. Students become labeled as bad kids, known for the poor choices, and often their reputation precedes them. But remember, all behavior is an attempt to communicate a need. In a power struggle with a student, ask yourself, will my next step de-escalate the situation? Will my next step maintain a safe, calm learning environment for all? You may feel that the defiance, disrespect, and yelling at an adult is a major offense that warrants heavy-handed reactions and punitive consequences. Remember, what we do is much more important than how we feel. Our response should always be based on goals, not feelings. Remember, it is generally better to respond versus react. A response is planned and driven by goals. A reaction is unplanned and driven by emotion. What lies beneath? Like an iceberg, we may see arguing, sleeping, or disrespectful talk from a student as problem behaviors. But these are often symptoms of a much larger issue that we may not know about that lies under the surface. Up above, on the top of the iceberg, is what you see. But what's really going on down deep can be pretty significant. The student could be questioning whether or not they feel loved or feel satisfied. They may be feeling detached. They may be feeling confused or sad. Maybe they're wondering if they're secure. Maybe they're angry. They might be wrestling with questions like, am I safe? Am I loved? Am I capable? Can I do things for myself? Do I belong? Am I respected? Am I secure? Do I have any power in my life? Am I included? Are my thoughts valued? Am I understood? Do I even matter? There's just so much we don't see, and all behavior has a function. Function to either gain or get, or escape and avoid. For instance, a student may be trying to gain or get attention, whether from adults or their peers. They may be trying to gain or get control over environmental factors when they feel out of control. They may be trying to gain access to desired items, or sensory integration and input. On the other hand, a student may try to escape or avoid. Oftentimes that looks like avoiding work, like tasks, chores, or homework. How many adults have a task or chore that they absolutely hate doing and try to avoid? I know I do. I don't like doing dishes. The student could also be trying to escape or avoid people, such as maybe a teacher, an adult that they don't get along with as well, or maybe even their parents. They could be avoiding peers, Think bullying. They could be trying to escape or avoid pain, and that pain could be emotional, physical, or, embarrassment is also very painful. Shame is painful. They could be also trying to escape or avoid sensory overload. Let's talk a little bit about ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences. Adverse childhood experiences can impact us from as children, but also throughout the rest of our lives into adulthood. Adverse childhood experiences present themselves usually in 3 different ways. The first is abuse, either physical, emotional, or sexual, sometimes all 3. Neglect, either physical neglect or emotional neglect, or household dysfunction, like living with someone with a mental illness, substance abuse, domestic violence in the household, maybe parents are getting divorced, or there's been a death of one of the parents, or maybe one of the parents or one of the important adults in that student's life is incarcerated. These all contribute to higher ACE scores. The higher the ACE score, the longer the long-term impact. So what does fight, flight, or freeze look like in the classroom? Well, fight often presents itself as acting out. Sometimes it could look like aggression. Sometimes it could look like acting silly. Sometimes it looks like defiance or hyperactivity or arguing or yelling. Flight looks like withdrawing, fleeing from the classroom, skipping class, daydreaming, sleeping in class, avoiding others, hiding or wandering around the school, maybe hiding in the bathrooms, and general disengagement. Freeze looks like numbness, refusing to answer, refusing to get needs met, giving a blank look, or feeling unable to move or act. Interested in learning more? Fantastic! I'm so excited. Please use the QR code provided to get a copy and join our book club. Thanks for joining us.